Hello and welcome to ZigWheels, the show that gets you the best of what's hot and happening in the auto world. I'm Kamya Verma. Like every week, we have a show that aims to give you the best advice and feel of what's out there. Let's take a look at what's on this week.
This week on ZigWheels, we got our hands on the all-new Hero Impulse and took it for quite the road test. The Mercedes-Benz SLK series continues to charm with its all-new SLK 350, and our chief road tester Dilip Desai got behind the wheel. And editor-in-chief Adil gets you the scoop on some fast-developing trends in the auto industry.
It's the time when we are going to talk about badge engineering, platform sharing.
Alright, time then to kick things off. Now, the first bike that Hero MotoCorp has come up with after Hero split with Honda also doubles up as a first for Indian motorcycling. It's an on-off-roader that aims to create a sensation based on its dual purpose. Here's the Hero Impulse road test.
Every time a new motorcycle arrives in the ZigWheels garage, there's a lot of things to think of. Practicality, comfort, but a little bit of excitement is always most looked out for. But this new bike came with its own dilemma, because we just couldn't figure out where to draw the line. All thanks to the all-new offering from Hero, it's what they call the Impulse. The first on-off-roader to hit our streets in a long time.
Now, for some reason, I don't know what it might be, the on-off-road bike segment in India has seen absolutely no activity for the last decade or so. Well, all of that is poised to change with the entry of the Impulse from Hero MotoCorp. Now, I have this bike with me all day and I'm getting very tempted to try out some unconventional terrain on it. While I chart my route out and gear up, why don't you go and take a closer look at the Hero Impulse.
The Hero Impulse is the first motorcycle to come out of Hero MotoCorp after their recent split with Honda. And if just to prove their newfound independence, the Impulse comes as quite a bold move. Design-wise, the Impulse is based completely on the Honda NXR Bros, a popular model in Brazil. Built for a dual purpose, its on-off-road capabilities makes it quite the SUV of the two-wheeler world. It has the looks, the stance, and a structure that makes you just want to get on and ride. A single down tube splitting into two under the engine is what makes the frame. And the use of carefully stretched high-tensile steel tubing at the right places gives the Impulse rigidity and strength where it most matters. Of course, being an on-off-roader as well, the Impulse will be thrown around quite a bit, and to take all those bumps without giving any bruising, the Impulse has long travel front forks with about 180 mm of suspension travel and a direct nitrogen-charged monoshock at the rear. Adding more comfort for those bumpy rides are the MX-style seats that run all the way to the rear of the tank, provided much-needed padding when faced with unwanted instances. Even for pillions, there are chunky grab rails to hold on to. The handlebars are tall and flat, which complement the saddle pretty well, and the nicely placed foot pegs give the rider an upright yet very comfortable riding position. But most crucial, of course, is the tire design, which has been made keeping in mind its dual purpose. Big blocks are carved out on a fine arc section, which not only gives traction on tarmac, even when the bike is leaned over, while having enough block grooves to help tractor through mud and gravel. All in all, when it comes to style, the Impulse not only looks distinctive amongst jazzed up commuter street bikes, but also comes across as a well thought out design that is functional too. Speaking of riders, our road tester Sopan Sharma was all ready to set out with the Impulse. And we wouldn't keep him waiting any longer. The first test section was the tarmac. And just minutes into the ride, Sopan was already beginning to get a little bit impressed.
The first thing that impresses you right off the saddle for the Impulse is how refreshingly comfortable this motorcycle feels. The handlebar seat foot peg relation is spot on. Your spine stays erect, which feels like heaven for now. There's hardly any weight on your wrists and shoulders. I tell you, after all those sport bikes, this is bliss.
Blissful ride quality, yes. But does that statement hold true for the engine? A 150cc single-cylinder motor.
The engine on the Impulse is the same 150cc engine that we've already seen on other Hero MotoCorp bikes like the CBZ Extreme and the Hunk. It's revvy, it's fairly refined, it's frugal as well, it'll give you about 55 kilometers to the liter overall. But it doesn't really go with the character of the motorcycle if you ask me. Slightly peppier power delivery and more character in the exhaust note at least would have done a world of good for this engine.
Coupled to a 5-speed gearbox, the 150cc mill seen on the Hero Hunk, CBZ Extreme and the Honda Unicorn is capable of producing a maximum of 13.2 PS of power at 7,500 RPM and an adequate 13.4 Newton meters of torque at 5,000 RPM. Power is down marginally compared to its cousins, but torque is up and comes lower down as would be expected from an on-off-roader, and is quite calm when it comes to city riding. When riding through traffic, the Impulse is genuinely a nice and easy to use commuter. It provides a very stable and solid approach to ride and handling, has good steering geometry, fine brakes, good grip, and light controls that make carving through traffic a breeze. Overall, the Impulse is truly a fun and exciting commuter.
Okay, so the bike is a lot of fun, no doubt about that, but I'm getting a little tired of the dark top. I think I'm gonna hit the dirty stuff. It's right that way.
Now when we said we didn't know where to draw the line, this is what we meant. And our location of choice, a roughed-up park for motocross enthusiasts. What better place to check out the Impulse's off-roading capabilities? Off-road, the Impulse performs phenomenally. Its suspension is extremely damp and successfully soaks up big bumps effortlessly. The ride position is just right for this kind of riding, and with the right tires that tread anywhere, the Impulse can most definitely be the entry-level bike for any and all enthusiasts. A total practical and extremely fun bike to be on.
The suspension of the Impulse sure felt very nice and supple both on road and off it. But since we started the show with a go anywhere theme, this would be the ultimate challenge for this bike. It sure has the numbers in its favor. 180 mm of travel on the front forks, 245 mm of ground clearance. The only chink in the armor could be the rider. Let's give this a shot. Okay, she seems to be handling it pretty well. Very, very well damped suspension, and this is something that's definitely going to help the bike through difficult road conditions. Potholes, bumps, forget about it. Yeah, this is the fun part. Look at this thing go. The best way to sum up the Hero Impulse, for me at least, would be to call it a thoroughly successful exercise in motorcycle making. And there are a lot of reasons for this. To start with, it looks like nothing else currently available on the streets. It's as easy to ride around in town as it is to have a blast on in dirt or even in the twisties. It presents just the right balance of excitement and practicality. But all of this kept aside, it marks this radical departure from the bread and butter commuter segment towards a more fun and enthusiast-oriented segment for the world's biggest bike maker. Here's hoping the market warms up to the Impulse, the competition follows, creating more bikes like these, and that the on-off-road motorcycle segment thrives in India, presents itself to as many bikers as possible, because this truly is a lovely, lovely form of motorcycling.
Well, you can read up more about the Impulse in our magazine, which after being subscription-based is now available on newsstands just for 75 rupees. Time now for a quick break on ZigWheels. We'll see you on the other side.
Coming up, we take the SLK 350 for a first drive.